Hello and welcome to The Big Picture. The 1993 Bombay blast convict Yakub Menon has just one more chance to escape the gallows on Monday, when his petition challenging the undue haste shown to execute him will be taken up in the Supreme Court. Both the mercy petition before the President of India and the curative petition before the Apex Court against his conviction and sentencing him to death by a CBI court in 2006 has already been rejected. Then why has this case generated so much interest and debate about his death sentence? It's because he's supposed to have surrendered apart from asking his family members also to surrender, even as his brother, Tiger Menon, the main accused in the case, and Dawood Ibrahim continued to be absconders. The matter has assumed a more interesting dimension after publication of a report in a website yesterday, written by late B. Raman, former Additional Secretary RAW, in 2007, much before he died in 2013. His report has brought some new issues about the way the whole surrender took place and how Raman himself had led the operation. In the light of this, and also the fact that there are other issues which the opponents of death penalty to Yakub Menon have raised, the question now is, will justice be served by hanging Menon on July 30th, according to the death warrant issued by the Maharashtra government? We will discuss this today with Arun Bhagat, former director of the Intelligence Bureau, which was directly involved in the operation, retired Justice R.S. Sodhi of the Delhi High Court, Vikas Singh, former Additional Solicitor General of India, and Jyoti Punwani, a senior journalist on the phone line from Mumbai. Welcome to all of you. Mr. Arun Bhagat, when you are reading about this case, does it bring back memories?
Oh yes, it does. It does bring back a lot of memories, certainly.
What kind of memories?
Well, the stresses and the tensions that we were going through, and how difficult the job was to find out each one of these culprits, the criminals who had committed such a dastardly events in Bombay, causing death and maiming of so many people and disruption of so many lives and destruction of so much of property. So it was a very tense period, but the team which was working on it in the CBI and earlier in the Mumbai police, I must say, were very dedicated, very devoted, and they worked day and night to be able to bring the culprits, or most of the culprits, to justice.
But the fact is that the main accused in these cases,
well, the main accused, of course, was Tiger Menon.
We could never get them.
We could not get them because he is being given protection by a state.
That's right.
And he took shelter there, and his family also, as you know, a number of members of his family went there, but to Pakistan. But they were so disenchanted, and they felt that it would be better to come back to India. And of course, we acted as catalysts.
The IB, the CBI, the IB and the RAW acted as catalysts. According to what Mr. Raman has written, that he led the operation on behalf of RAW. There was IB involved in it. The family members were brought back from Dubai. Do you accept the fact that Yakub Menon and his family surrendered to the Indian government?
No, as far as Yakub is concerned, there's no question about it. I mean, you know that he was brought from Nepal.
Right.
And because of the good offices and good connections which our country had with Nepal, therefore we were able to bring him. And as far as the others are concerned, there was a lot of help from everybody, from the Indian Foreign Ministry, our External Affairs Ministry, the people who were working there, the ambassadors, the other people, and of course the Intelligence Bureau.
The family came on its own. I mean, it came on its own volition.
It came on its own volition, totally on its own volition, though they were being pursued. And there was a very tough time that we had in protecting them in a foreign land and bringing them for there. But they were totally willing. They knew what the consequences would be, but they felt that it would be better to face justice here than live as exiles in a foreign land.
Okay, I mean consequences, they knew what the consequences were. Justice Sodhi, is this the consequence, of, okay, I think there is a, okay, Justice Sodhi, if you can hear me, till the video is corrected, please, you're on the phone line. The consequences of their action of surrendering and coming back to India on its own. I think that is what is the key issue now when this debate about the entire death penalty to Yakub Menon is being discussed. So, as a judge who has sat on that hot seat and given judgments about cases, you think that this is what has finally emerged is something fair and just? Justice Sodhi? I think there's a problem with that. Vikas Singh, did you hear the question which I asked?
Yes, I heard.
Yeah, can you please answer that question? The same question to you also.
Yeah, well, there are two things. As far as the punishment is concerned, the punishment is only and only relatable to the actual crime.
Absolutely.
Post-crime conduct is not at all to be considered for the purpose of deciding the punishment or the quantum of sentence, or whether death penalty should be given or not. The entire sympathy that is coming in favor of Yakub for helping bring his family back is completely misplaced. If he at a later stage, at some stage, decides that his family should come and face trial in India, and he takes a call of coming before the law, that cannot be of any advantage to him for the purpose of deciding what sentence he should be given. As far as his complicity in the crime is concerned, the Supreme Court very clearly found him to be actively involved in the entire transaction, and on the basis of the evidence that was led in the trial court as well as Supreme Court convicted him. Now, once the conviction has taken place, then the gravity of the offense that was originally committed is the only thing which has to be looked into for the purpose of deciding what punishment should be awarded to the accused. Now, in this case, the kind of killing that he had done, the kind of severity of the offense that he had committed, and the role that he had played, a very active role of, managing the money and hawala and the entire transaction. So the court took the view that this is one of those rarest of rare cases where death penalty should be awarded.
Okay.
So I think this whatever Mr. Raman has said in that article is completely misplaced.
Okay.
And has got no bearing.
Okay.
With what punishment should be given.
Okay. I think you have an interesting point there. Jyoti, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Jyoti, the argument is that post-crime conduct has no bearing on what kind of punishment is given to people in such situations. How would you react to that?
Post-crime conduct does have a bearing. It has been used in the past to commute death sentences. Why would he come back if he felt that he was going to go to the gallows? Why would he come back if he had done this crime? And that's the basic question. Not only he came back, he persuaded his family to come back, and all of them were thrown into prison and suffered health consequences, and the whole family disintegrated. When there was a deal, there must have been an understanding that this would not happen. In fact, his first lawyer said that he had been told to ask for bail and it would not be contested by the prosecution. So what went wrong? Why did the deal go sour? And how would anyone have faith now in the Indian authorities? Anyone who wants to come and clear his name and provide the information which they would not otherwise have got, the proof.
Okay. Vikas Singh, you want to come in, because stay on, Jyoti. I'll come back to you. Yes, Mr. Vikas Singh.
Firstly, he did not come back. He was actually picked up from Kathmandu, and the Nepal police helped the Indian authorities in his being apprehended there.
No, Vikas Singh, I don't think you heard Mr. Arun Bhagat.
He was shown.
No, I don't think you heard Mr. Arun Bhagat. Arun Bhagat.
No, I heard him.
Yes, and he says that they all surrendered.
I heard him, and I know the fact also. He was. No, the rest of the family surrendered, not he. Yakub
right.
was picked up from. That is what Mr. Arun Bhagat also said, and that is what the record is. Yes, he was picked up from Kathmandu with the help of the Nepal police. The rest of the family surrendered. They went to Dubai, and from Dubai they came to India and they surrendered themselves. They probably felt that living a life of a fugitive is of no use, so ultimately one has to face the law. Now, Girish, you must appreciate, anybody who commits a crime today, if he ultimately goes and surrenders, if the police is chasing them, and if he goes and surrenders to the police, or if the police is not able to chase him, he still surrenders to the police, that is no ground to decide what quantum of punishment is to be given to him.
Okay.
The fact that he
you made
believes
that point.
in the law, and he goes...
You made that point. I know, Mr. Bhagat, the question here is of whether there was a deal or no deal. Mr. Raman says, Raman is not very clear about whether there was a deal or anything, but it is quite obvious that there was a lot of communication between him, his family, and the agencies, Indian agencies. So the key question here seems to be whether there was a deal or not.
No, there was no question of a deal, because we were directly involved. Raman played a role. Yes, he did play a very major role as far as Yakub is concerned. But the other members of the family...
It was the IB operation.
It was not even an IB operation. It was entirely a CBI operation.
CBI operation.
And he was in the periphery. Of course, we kept each other informed about what was going on. But as far as the rest of the members are concerned, there's no question about it. There's no question of a deal. And how can you make a deal? I mean, on what basis can a deal be made? Everybody knows that. They were very well advised by the lawyers, and the lawyers themselves suggested to them that it would be better. And after all, you must realize that their pangs of conscience also comes.
There were absolutely pangs of conscience. There were pangs of conscience. The question is this,
basically...
No, pangs of conscience were there. And here was a man who came back. You say that he was brought back from Nepal.
That's right. That's right. Against his will.
And then it was shown that
he was brought back against his will.
Against his will.
That's right.
Against his will is a very key term here.
But then during interrogation, he was very cooperative. He was cooperative. Indeed, he was cooperative, because the facts that you put up before him, they were so strong, and there was so much of evidence that he had no choice.
But to be cooperative.
Partially, it was because he had no choice. There was such substantial evidence which was available in such large quantities.
Okay. Justice Sodhi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you.
Justice Sodhi?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Sir, the question now is the key question. There are three key questions in this whole thing. One is about whether he surrendered or not. Mr. Arun Bhagat, who should know what the whole thing was, he says that, he himself didn't surrender. He was brought back from Nepal against his will, but he helped in the surrender of all his family, many of his family members. Now, is that one of the mitigating circumstances which Mr. Raman talks about in his article? He says that this was one of the mitigating circumstances which should have allowed him to be given a lesser sentence than what he has got.
See, let's not get mixed up between the two parts of it. One is absolutely sure that the investigating agencies did a very good job of mustering the material which they were able to convert into evidence and place before the court to arrive at this conclusion that this man was guilty of the offense charged.
Right.
So that is absolutely one part of it. As far as the sentencing part goes, if there was anything that was in his favor and was not brought to the court, that could have hurt him. But to say that he would never have been given a death sentence, I do not know. But yes, it would have been proper had anything that is in his favor been brought to the notice of the court and then left it at that. See,
Okay.
but the other part is that surely, you see, this happened 20 years ago. 20 years is a lot of time in the lifetime of a man.
Absolutely.
And it is actually one full life sentence.
Yes.
So have you sentenced him for life and death? I mean, you did it twice over.
So,
Now, this may have been a mitigating circumstance, but certainly not his acts were heinous enough.
so what you're saying is that this long period of time, he was actually convicted in 2006. The actual conviction came. He came to India. He came back to, or he was brought back to India. In 1994, the incidents happened in 1993. 1994, he was in custody of the Indian authorities. From 1994 to 2006, the case went on. He was convicted, and from 2006 till now, he has been. So what you are saying is that he has spent more than 20 years in custody, and now to proceed with the death penalty, do you have a problem with that?
Yes, I have very serious problems with that. After all, a man is entitled to his execution or whatever it is within a period of time. You cannot go on and on and on torturing this man and then in the end say that justice has been met. On the contrary, I think we have defeated our justice system by taking 20 years to execute a sentence.
Okay, that's a very okay, sir. That's a very interesting point you have made. Jyoti, is this one such case where because there are people who are arguing that, in fact, MP today has said that because the religion to which he belongs, he is facing this kind of thing, and there are others who have also been sentenced to similar sentences they have faced in other cases who have not been executed so far. So do you see a problem there?
Yes, I think his religion has a lot to do with it, and also the fact that he is a Menon. I mean, it's like you didn't get the real guilty man, and you got one Menon, so why not hang him? It's like just by association, at least we got somebody. And definitely his religion has, I think, if you see the record of such controversial hangings, it has always been from either a minority or a so-called terrorist, for example, Maoism, which is considered terrorism. Whereas similar heinous crimes done by Hindutva people have not attracted the same sentence. Even though they have been mass killings done with willfully. So I do feel it is a problem, and especially because first of all, Yakub Menon is not the prime guilty person. He did not even plant the bombs, and I do believe that he did not know what his brother was doing. Anyway, that is a matter of...
that is now
Yes, that is not... But the thing is that the provocation for the blast is not even being talked about. Who got punished?
Okay, I mean, I don't think that will be taken note of by the justice system. But anyway...
But it will be taken note of by the community and by everybody else who lives through those...
Certainly, I agree with you that. But it will have other consequences. But Mr. Vikas Singh, one of the questions which are being raised by people who are opposing the death sentence to Yakub Menon is, there was another approver in that case. I think Mr. Arun Bhagat, rather I will first go to Mr. Arun Bhagat and then I will come to you. Mr. Bhagat, there was an approver in this case called Badshah Khan, who was more involved in this whole thing than Yakub Menon was, in the sense that he had done the survey of the areas where bombs were planted. He had gone to Pakistan and got training from this thing. He turned approver, and the case was dropped against him. So people see some kind of a double standards in the way it was approached.
You see, in such a big case where there are more than, I think, 70, 80 accused, you have patches.
There were more than that. There were more than 250.
Well, I forget the exact number, but yes.
It was brought down.
So in such a case, you have to have the help of approvers. And whatever had been done was done through the legal process. An approver is produced before the court, he makes a statement, and then he is given immunity as far as those offences are concerned. So, yes, of course, we did use the approvers because there were certain gaps in our collection of evidence. It was not possible to get some evidence, so we got the approvers. But as far as Yakub is concerned, he was a prime conspirator. And that is what the Supreme Court has recognized. And therefore, he was sentenced on 4 counts. So, saying that Yakub was on the periphery would not be correct. It is entirely a wrong statement.
Okay, Vikas Singh, how do you react to that? What double standards?
Well, in the criminal justice system, there is always a concept of trying to look at a weak accused, of course, who has to be a smaller party to the crime. And if he breaks down and if he is made an approver, then it helps the prosecution to build a watertight case against the main accused. So that is what has been done in this case. And the Supreme Court, after examining all the evidence, has come to a very concrete finding that Yakub Menon was directly and very intimately involved in this bombing. So whether there was an approver or not is really speaking of no consequence as far as his punishment is concerned, or his conviction is concerned, or the death penalty that is being given to him is concerned.
Justice Sodhi, how would you look at this?
See, whether an approver has been made use of, or what evidence has been made use of, it is hardly a question which can be gone into now. The question now is the entire proceedings or the process of law has been correctly and accurately followed. But what I join issues on is the fact that it has taken you 20 years to go through your entire process. It is that which I think is cruelty, and it is this which should be the mitigating circumstances. It should be this that should come against that death penalty, because, mind you, Supreme Court has let off a large number of people on just this fact that the execution has taken too long. Over here, it is much too long, and it doesn't justify that part. But however, his crime is absolutely heinous, and it has been proved as such. There are no grey areas in that part.
Okay.
But yes, we've lost out on the time.
Sir, I think that's an important point you made. Mr. Bhagat, how would you react to that? The fact that a man spends 20 or more years and then, he's sentenced
you
up,
see,
and then has to wait. Would it be a mitigating circumstance?
I entirely agree that the time period should be shortened. It should be not so long. But the point is, how much of this is due to the defense? That is a factor which has to be seen also. How many adjournments were asked by the defense? How many delays were made? How many petitions were filed by them at various levels, which has caused the delay of the trial in the first instance? And then, of course, the appellate regarding the appeals is concerned. I think there also there may have been on the part of the defense, or they have maybe been on the part of the heavy backlog or whatever.
The justice system itself.
So
it has
the
taken 9 years. 2006,
but then
conviction came, and it's 2015
but then,
now.
I don't think that should affect the final judgment.
You think it won't have? Jyoti Punwani, you think the delays is the delays caused in coming to a conclusion in this case has been to a certain extent responsible? Who has been responsible for it?
In such cases, always take so long in our system. It's not exceptional. Whether it's a defense which seeks adjournments or the PP who's not available. It's nothing new. 92, 93 riot cases have still not been decided. So I don't think it's a very unusual delay, but that doesn't mean that those who have been punished should suffer for it. You know, if it's, and he's the only one who's been given a death sentence. That's the irony of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Everyone else sentences have been commuted, and only he, the one who came back and the one who provided all the information, is going to hang. And somebody who has been exemplary in his conduct in the jail, he has earned 2 degrees, he's known for his politeness. All that, doesn't all that count?
Okay, let us, Mr. Bhagat, what will be the consequences of this action, or whatever happens will, because there's still another step on Monday. The Supreme Court will hear his petition, but you think that the intelligence agencies may have problems in the future when they are faced in such cases to get people back?
Not at all, not at all. Because as I told you, that this is a story which is being spread, and which is, I mean, there's no question about any deal. And in any case, how can an illegal deal be made? Who is authorized to make this deal? So even if a deal was made and there was a subterfuge which was used, but I don't think that goes against it at all.
So you don't think the intelligence agencies in future will have a problem when faced with similar situations?
No question
and
about it.
People wanting to come back,
no question
they may not come back thinking that why should we come back, we'll face this kind of situation.
In this case, it was very strong conscience pricking, pangs of conscience and heart searching which had been going on. Okay. And that is, I think, was the primary reason why they came back.
Okay, I think on that note we need to end. This is a debate which will go on. The larger debate of death penalty is also something which has been happening in this country. But we'll wait and watch what will happen on Monday when the Supreme Court takes up the matter, and what will be the fate of Yakub Menon. We'll get to know only then. Thanks to all my guests. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue in the big picture, same time on Monday. Meanwhile, have a good weekend.